Hey, my name is Barb Herrera, and this is Health at Any Cost. And I am 3 days post op from cancer surgery. You can actually see this is one of the cancers that was removed from here. And then that was another one that's on my arm. You can see my flabby arms, but I also have like nice muscles. So look at my great muscles. And then I have another one that removed a lymph node. I'm going to show you it as well. It is under here. There we go. Now you can see it. That one hurts. The other two are just kind of itchy. So I've been taking Benadryl and they're kind of itchy. And I tapped this one all night long because it was really itchy. But this one hurts. And I just got back from a 2+ mile walk and I have pants on. I've got leggings on that have pockets. So I kept my hand in my pocket so that I didn't swing my arm because swinging my arm hurts. So all I did was just keep my hand in my pocket and I kept walking and I feel so good being able to walk. Let me show you this. That bracelet is from the Exparil that they put in the incisions. Exparil is like lidocaine, but they put it in the incision so that I won't feel the pain for about 72 hours. The other two, the Exparil wore off yesterday. This one, the Exparil wore off last night. So I was pretty uncomfortable last night, but I wasn't going to let that stop my walk. For those of you that don't know, I started in April of 22 at 405 pounds, and today I weighed 127, but I hover right around 124 and 125, so I say 280 pounds lost, which is amazing. So when I can walk, I walk. A lot of people I hear, I don't want to go for a walk, I don't want to exercise, and there's this place in me who was bedridden for about 10 years before 2022 that I could not walk. I had to use a walker, I had to use a scooter in the stores and everything. And the walker, to even walk the 5 feet to the bathroom. So when I started on Trulicity in 2022, I started walking to the bathroom. It took me about 2 months to get the 5 feet to the bathroom without the walker. It took me, I got to put my hand up, sorry. It took me 8 months to get to the mailbox at the end of the driveway. And now I walk, 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 walk. I wake up from surgery, and the first question every time is, when can I walk? And they told me this time, because of my arm, that I may have to wait 3 to 6 weeks. And I said, I don't think I can do that. And they said, well, it's because you're swinging your arm. Well, I fixed that. I just plopped it in my pocket this morning and I just walked. So I'm very happy that I got a walk in. Yesterday I walked as well. I only walked a mile and a half, which still is just amazing to me. I just love it. So yes, when people complain about having to go for a walk or having to exercise, I tell people I walk because I can. And that's why I walk, and I love it. So I wanted to tell you just a little bit about how I have not been in a tank top for about a year since I was in physical therapy for my back. And that's because of shame from my arms, my dangly arms. You can see the skin dangling. It's about 4 inches long. And there's a part of me when my arms are down. Let's see if you can see all the wrinkles when my arms are down. It's just really, I just hide from those wrinkles. And then there's the part of me that right now wanted to walk really bad and I can't put sleeves on. So I had this thing in my head of shame or function, and function won. So if people stared at me, I don't care. I have to go walking first thing in the morning because I have malignant melanoma and I have to be in. The sun is almost over the horizon right now. And so I'll be home before the sun's over the horizon. I don't walk out in the sun at all anymore. I used to worship the sun, as you can tell by the malignant melanoma that I have now. But now I kind of worship the moon. I watch the moon cycles. It's lots of fun. and that's what I do in the morning. I'm out usually by 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at the latest, and I walk to the gym and I work out at the gym, and then I walk back home again. So because I've got a tank top on, I can actually show you my tattoo that's over here. It's a dragonfly. I don't like the rest of it. It's got to be fixed. But I didn't know if I'd ever be able to fix it because I was so sick with diabetes. My hemoglobin A1C was a 9. Now my hemoglobin A1C is a 5.0. So I might actually be able to go get it fixed. Although now with cancer, a new cancer, I've got the new one. That's what the lymph node was removed for, was for something I have now that was just diagnosed about 5 weeks ago called CLL, SLL, which is chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and small lymphocytic lymphoma are what those are. And the lymph node was taken out to be able to see if it's one of those, the lymphoma or the leukemia, which are the same thing. They just, one lives in the blood and one lives in the lymph nodes. And I have swollen lymph nodes everywhere. So that's what that is going to see, what it is that I have. They took it out, and they want to see also if it might have started from the malignant melanoma and now is as great gravitated towards my lymph node. So that's what all the surgery is all about. This is my third surgery this year. I had one in March, one in April to remove melanoma lesions, and then I had 2 removed this time. And I still have one, let's see if you can see it, on my forehead right there. That one is a malignant melanoma stage 2 that has to be removed soon. I'm going to wait until I heal from these before I do yet another surgery. And I don't know if I'm going to need an oncology plastic surgeon to do it because some of the melanoma is really close to my eye. So I have a consult, I have post-op with my surgeon on the 7th and with my oncologist on the same day. And I'll find out the results of the lymph node, and he's going to do a consult and let me know if he can do it or if he wants me to go to a plastic surgeon. I'm leaning towards a plastic surgeon, even though I love my doctor and he's wonderful, and I've had him for 5 surgeries now, something like that, all to remove melanoma. Okay, so where was I? I was going somewhere. Oh, tattoos. So I have a tattoo right here that I don't want to show because it's really old and the words are all scrambled, but it's a woman who's leaning down. I was a midwife. I'm a retired midwife, and I was in the birth world for about 32 years. So birth is really an important part of my life, and now rebirth, as we know, with the GLP-1s. Oh, I went on Mounjaro 9 months after I started the Trulicity. And then I titrated up pretty quickly to 15 milligrams. And I went into maintenance in December of 24 at 15 milligrams. And now here we are on the 25th. Are we on the 25th, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 25th or 26th of July, 2025? And I'm still on 15, still in maintenance, still doing fantastic. Not on in any way do I want to spread out the shots. Do I want to lower my dosage? Nothing. It's working for me. And a lot of the research actually shows that if you stay on the highest effective dose, then you will stay at your weight. I see when people lower it, a lot of times they get incredibly hungry. They start to get that food noise again. And I have no desire to have that. I've been on now for almost 2 years on this Mounjaro itself. And I do not have food noise. And I had to be off the GLP-1s for 8 days before the surgery. And did I want to eat on day 8? I tell you what. And all I could eat was clear liquid. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so the tattoo. This tattoo has a woman kneeling and on her hands and knees, and it says, "I am a woman giving birth to myself." And that is how I feel all the time, is I am a woman giving birth to myself over and over. I had a gastric bypass, an RNY gastric bypass in 2001. I had been on fen-phen in 1996. That is what health at any cost means for me, is I will find health at any cost. I will do whatever I can to get myself healthy. Obesity is a disease, and it's not our fault. Yes, there are many different puzzle pieces. I see it as an 8,000 legged octopus of levers that we could pull that would make us morbidly fat, giant, super obese, have super obesity, however you want to say it. But I think that there are lots of levers that pull on it. For me, fast food was definitely one. A lot of people call it ultra processed, but Dr. Kessler, that I just read his book, and I can't remember the name, but look up Kessler, brand new book. And he talked about ultra formulated food, not ultra processed, because it's formulated to actually hit every sensor, every dopamine sensor in our brain so that we become addicted to it. And yes, I use the word addicted, and I didn't for a long, long time, but he explains one of the great reasons to do it is because it mimics exactly what happens in the brain under MRIs, what happens to the brain when people are alcoholics or have alcohol use disorder or opioid use disorder. And that's what ultra formulated foods do. They take people and they put them in the MRI and they test all these different flavors with them. And the ones that light up their brains the most are the ones they make and put on the shelves or put in McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, so that we just go round and round and round. And when I started in 2022, that's one thing that I quit cold turkey: Uber Eats and all fast food. And I have had none except for when I got really stressed. Once I had Frosty and a few French fries, and I talked about it. And then I had pizza on the cruise, on the downsized cruise that we had a couple weeks ago. But that wasn't fast food or ultra formulated from what I could tell. But people who are addicted to ultra formulated food, they can be off, doing good, doing good. And then the first moment they take a bite of it, it's like it opens up that trigger once again. And it just floods the brain and says, we need to have more. We need to have more and more and more. And that's why when people talk about going on a GLP-1 break, when they want to go on vacation and they take a break, or they want to stop for the holidays from Thanksgiving to New Year, what happens is it's like they're starting all over again. And they're not. They're taking the medication as they were before, but it takes 1 month to catch up to start with. Even if you miss one, like I did for surgery, it's going to take me a month for it to ramp back up to the 15 milligrams. That's going to keep me safe and keep the food noise away, and also keep me satiated. So I encourage people, if you have had what some people would consider a food addiction, if you found yourself just blindly going to the drive-through, have just ordered Uber Eats, takeaway as they call it in the UK, if you find yourself doing those things, just go cold turkey and see what happens. These shots are for life. This is like high blood pressure medicine. And you don't go off your high blood pressure medicine when you are when it's the holidays. You don't say, oh, I'll just let my blood pressure go flying high. Who cares? It doesn't make any difference. But it does. It does make a big difference. And I want to let people know that they don't have to suffer even through the holidays. You can have what you want in tiny little portions. You don't have to walk around the table, looking for food, scavenging for it. Oh, just trying to find whatever you can put in your mouth. Why do people want to do that? Why would you want to do that? That's what you did your whole life. I used to have this phrase. People would say, I'm on a diet, whatever they would say. And I'd say, what I think is, if I died tomorrow, would I be sorry if I didn't have the brownie or if I did have the brownie? And I would answer, I'd be sorry if I didn't have the brownie. And I really believed that. And now, in this body that can walk 2.5 miles after surgery, 3 days after surgery, now what I know is I would be sorry if I had the brownie, number one. Number two, I've eaten enough brownies in my life. I don't need to eat another brownie. If I want a bite of a brownie someday, sure, but it doesn't taste the same, and I don't care. I do not care. I know what brownies taste like in my head. I know what cake tastes like. I know what all that tastes like. When you're 400 pounds and you're wanting to walk, the idea of putting these in your mouth so that you get fatter again, so that you can lose again, so you can get fatter again, so you can lose again, and do that diet. This is not a diet, people. This is not a diet. This is not a crash diet for you to lose weight, to look pretty in your bathing suit, and then go off of it, and then get fat, and then go back on again, off and on, off and on. This is not like the Atkins diet. This isn't the keto diet. This isn't like any of the diets that people go on and off. And it's frustrating for me, who knows what it's like at the end of the road before death. When it was during COVID, I had over my head, I had a do not resuscitate sign because I wanted to die. I did not even care if I was going to die. I was at 390 pounds, 390 to 400 pounds, and I did not care anymore. I had no desire to live. And now I will scrape and scratch and get my body cut on as if I was Swiss cheese. I will have everything cut out of my body. I will do whatever I have to stay alive. And I want to see you do the same thing. Christopher on The Downsized, which if you have not watched The Downsized, I really encourage you to watch. The Downsized, I have no affiliation with them. I just love them. But Christopher says, take your shot. That's his number one piece of advice is take your shot. And I say, take your shot and live your life. Because when you can't live a life, when you're looking at the ceiling, when you're lying there in bed in so much pain that you can't even move your foot to the floor without breaking your foot, which I have done. I have broken my feet several times just from walking. Even with a walker, I have broken my feet. And when you're in that position, I look at other people and I think, there but for the grace of God go I. I don't want to be there anymore. And I don't want you to be there anymore or ever. So, okay, preaching over. I love you all. Thank you very much for listening. The sun, as you can see, is coming up. So that means I need to scurry my bottom home. And yeah, I just love you all so, so much. And thanks for listening. And this is Barb at Health at Any Cost. And I will see you all soon. Wave my skin at you, but look at my muscles again. Look at that. Can you see? Can you see? You can see the outline of them down here. Down here. I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. Okay, you guys. Oh, you can put a strong arm in there because I am strong in the comments and let me know how you're doing. Tell me what you did to move today. I love you very much. Talk to you all soon. Bye.